Welcome to our YouTube channel, where wisdom meets inspiration. In this channel, we share valuable insights to help you become the best version of yourself. Our content is designed to uplift your spirit and enrich your life. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay connected with this incredible journey. Click the subscribe button below.
Industry academia collaboration. This is a very, very common word, and then it's a buzzword. It's been used many times, and I really want to give some practical examples of what an industry is looking for. Not just my industry or my company, but broadly, what is it that we are looking for when we recruit some people. So hopefully you will get a picture of what is an industry looking for in the end. Broadly, my speech is divided into. It gave me around 10 minutes. Maybe I get a couple of minutes extra. And I'll talk about. So I represent a company called BASF India Limited, and BASF is the world's largest chemical company. But I would rather focus on the chemical industry. And then a little bit of BASF, and then look at what is happening to our education system. What are the policy changes which is being done by the government, and then what is expected from all of you as either people. In fact, the preferred ones would be that all of you become entrepreneurs at some point of time, or now if you have good ideas, but also as good employees, or as people who we think will lead the company or into the future. So broadly, this is what I'm going to cover. So chemical industry. So what comes to your mind? Anybody? Polluting, smelly, all the negative aspects, correct? It uses a lot of energy. So, and I wanted to reflect on one thing. In this hall, or from the time you have woken up till the time you have come here, is there one aspect which did not use chemicals? From the time you have started using your toothpaste to soap to catching a bus, or wearing your clothes or the bed sheet or everything, and I would urge you to reflect now. In this hall, is there anything which does not contain chemicals? No, it's impossible. Without chemicals, life doesn't go on at all. So, from an utility perspective, I think we forget that chemicals are basically making us this quality of life which has gone up. Whether it is comfort, whether it is convenience, whether it is health, whether it is wealth, whatever it is all coming in from the way chemicals are playing an important role. So, if we are living longer, if we are living healthier, if your life expectancy has gone up from 45, 50 to 70, 80 right now, it is only because of all the chemicals which are playing a role. So in fact, people say the most important invention when it comes to keeping us all healthy is not the medicines. It is just the simple soap. I think all of us have started using soap to wash our hands and then that has reduced the infection by 90-95%. One of the most common way people could get would die 50 years back was basically because of some infections, simple infections which we did not know what was causing it, how it was to be addressed, and things like that. So very, very simple things. Whatever we are doing is all coming in from very simple inventions, but also at the other end, really, really complex, whether it is penicillin, whether it is antibiotics, everything is a form of chemical. And, why is the industry, kind of painted in a picture where it says that, it's an industry which is polluting, it's an industry which uses a lot of energy. So I want to use an analogy which says, so all atoms and molecules. So this is also, I try to find an analogy which is not only, which is not only applicable, which cannot be only understood by chemistry, but for everybody. So all atoms and molecules are like us, as children, or us. So we really don't want to do anything. The best way is to let be. we don't want to get up in the morning, we don't want to, put the extra effort of doing something. So all of them, all the chemicals is in a state of the low energy. So when you actually want them to do something, so that means, it is like, kids, so that, when you want him to go to the school, when you want to go her to the school, she doesn't want to. When teacher says that you learn something, she doesn't want to. So same is the challenge with all the chemical, with all the atoms and molecules. So what happens is that they are all in a state of low energy. They really don't want to do anything. But when we want them to do something, so that means when we want you to be productive, at least now I know most of the teachers will not use the stick, but when we were studying, we got real good whackings to make sure that we did what we were supposed to do. So for the chemicals to be transformed into useful substances that you and I can use, we have to use some form of energy. So whether it is heat energy, whether it is electrical energy, whether it is pressure, whether it is temperature, all of these are like the teacher who is basically putting something on you to transform you to something, and this industry is like that. That means we have to use lot of energy to transform mundane atoms for them to do something. So that is what the industry is, and then that's the reason why this industry needs a lot of energy, lot of inputs to make things happen, because we want to transform usual whatever it is, calcium, nitric, hydrogen, oxygen, everything into things which you and I can use on a daily basis, and that's the reason why the industry is what it is. So they kindly reflect that this, without chemicals, this life as we are seeing today cannot exist. Coming to BASF, it's a long history. I really don't want to get into saying that why BASF is great. That's really not the intent. But we have been here for more than 150 years. This was founded in Germany. One of the key inventions which I want, because all of you can relate to this, is the synthesis of ammonia. This was done by our company, and we won the Nobel Prize. So if anybody who can listen or remember, Haber-Bosch process was basically from this company. So basically on making sure that how we can synthesize ammonia, because with ammonia then urea came, and with urea the whole of agriculture has changed. If we are able to feed 8 billion people on this earth today, it is only because of urea, which is basically a derivative of ammonia, is what is keeping this 8 billion people mostly fed well, and also being taken care of. But so that was 150 years back or 130 years back when we invented. But over the 150-year journey, we have invented many things, whether it is polyurethane, which the seat on which you are sitting, or many of the vitamins and other chemicals which is basically added into your into your medicines. So these are all things which has come from us. So that was a phase of invention where a lot of things could be synthesized, and then we always looked at nature, saying that what is useful, and then how can we make it more affordable, more available to common man, and then the way to do it was chemical synthesis, which is what we have mastered on. But over the last 10 to 15 years, we are also aware of the kind of energy which we use, and then what it means for climate change. So over the last 15 years, we have also said that from a sustainability perspective, what we are going to do as a company, and then by 2030 we have a target, and by 2050 we want to be fully carbon neutral. By 2030 we want to be 25% carbon neutral for all the processes of what we are doing. So that is about the company, and then our intention is that chemicals are necessary, but how do we make it available with the least impact on the environment and on the society. That's what is the philosophy which is guiding us. And then I'm really happy to say that if you come to our site in Mangaluru, you don't have to go anywhere. anybody who is, interested, I think, this is, you're welcome to visit us, and then, you look at the amount of care and with which we handle, many of the processes. It will be an eye-opening for you, and then hopefully this will also give you a perspective of, what an industry looks like. We have many chemical industries around this. We have this, and we have a bottling plant, we have MRPL, which is a refinery, then, lot of many other things, but it will give a good perspective of, what an industry is. Is one aspect which I just wanted to touch about. Coming to basically on when I studied my engineering, our exposure to industry was 1 week of kind of a picnic, going around, visiting temples, and, in between, go to 1 or 2 factories, and that was our industrial tour, so to say. And our exposure was practically nothing when it came to what is expected from the industry. We were completely unprepared when we entered the industry. And like Sir told, it was, we learned everything on the job. So to give you one example, so for my project, so I was, there is a chemical synthesis which we are supposed to do, and then one of the requirements was that, we also have a digitalization or a distillation column. So distillation column is one where you put some heat, and then you evaporate, and then you basically, at different temperatures, different fractions are liberated, and you basically condense, and then you collect it different sections. So this is typically. So when the project which I designed, I happily, made the project report. I don't know, all of you must have also, done this either in your undergraduate or in your postgraduate, as, basically, having to do a project report. So I went to my project guide, and then he says, Srinivas, ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಇಂಥ ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ದು ಲೆಂತ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ. I said, no, sir, it is some, 1,100 meters. He said, can you imagine 1,100 meters of a column is like a 1 kilometer of column in the sky. It is impossible to build. But that is what we were. No, we didn't know, we didn't think, we had no exposure. And this aspect of, basically saying that what is practical and then what is possible, this never came to our mind, because we did not have the necessary exposure. It was just academics. In the end, in the final year, you make a project report, and then you think or you hope that you are ready for getting employed somewhere. From that to today, I think, there is a lot of discussion on, whether it is new education policy, whether it is on internship, whether it is on, getting the people ready for academia. This has changed a lot. We should, all of you, also kindly reflect on, what the government is trying to do, and then, making sure that there is enough and more opportunities for undergraduates and for postgraduates to come and spend some time in the industry, because this is really, really important, because it gives you a very good head start as compared to, people who will not have the opportunity to visit an enterprise, of any magnitude. So whether the government is looking at NAPS, which is a promotion of apprentice scheme, which is basically saying that you will get paid something, when then you can also get industry ready. So this is something which the government promotes, and then I want all of you to kind of reflect back on saying that, what is it that you can do to make sure that you take these opportunities which are available. Whether it is internship, make sure that you spend a month there. Or if it is, NAPS, you graduate, and then, you are still searching for a job. There are, NAPS, training facilities are available. Make sure that you avail of these ones. Because this, what we have seen in our own company is that people who, who did not get a job, but, did our apprenticeship at you get paid something, but also you learn a lot. In this scheme of, and most of the people, so this is available, 1 year up to 3 years, and most of the people who do NAPS in a reasonably good organization will find a job sooner or later. This is what we have seen. As long as you have the passion to learn, and then you absorb, what is required for the industry. This is really, really important that you can use these kind of opportunities to kind of look at how you can basically look at how do you get prepared for the life ahead. So this is on basically on all of you getting ready for the future is one part. But once you are onboarded, once you become part of, whether as a full-time employee, whether as a trainee, whether as a contractor, one of the things which I keep telling to all my managers is also look at two different aspects. So one is called attitude and aptitude. So lot of people have very good aptitude, but attitude is not good. So that means they think they know everything, and then they're not willing team players. In any industry, we want people to work together, and we have to. This is how an organization works. You can be the best academically oriented student. You can be the best. You can be the highest mark scorer. But if you don't have the ability to work with others, it becomes very, very difficult for you to have a career. So whether it's a career, whether it's also, if you want to start on your own, you also have to get work done from somebody else, which is also a huge skill which all of us have learned the hard way. So, so from that perspective, make sure that your attitude is even more important than aptitude. Aptitude, because there are a lot of things which are repetitive in nature, and then these things can be learned over a period of time. But if attitude is not okay, it's going to be difficult for you to, as an individual contributor. Yes, it is possible that you can excel. Maybe if you're a software coder and then you're excellent, maybe it makes sense. But as you progress in your career, it becomes more and more difficult to grow higher. So make sure that you have the right attitude. You have the ability to listen, you have the ability to contribute to conversations, you have the ability to put your ideas in a way which is welcoming and not challenging. So these are all very, very important aspects once you start, basically working in any setup. That's how the organizations are structured. So this is a kind of an advice for all of you to look at this one aspect. The other one is called, content and intent. So which is also same way of putting attitude and aptitude, which is content is what you have inside, intent is what you want to do. So whether you really want to contribute to the success of what the company's objective is, or you just want to showcase yourself, that is very, very visible the moment you open your mouth. So from that perspective, I think I've run a little bit over time. I wanted to make sure that you get a reasonably good perspective, in 15 minutes or so. I think I might have exceeded by another 5 minutes, but I wishing you all the best, and I thank Ramakrishna Mission for inviting me and then giving this opportunity.
Become Swami Vivekananda's messenger. Share the video with 3 of your friends.